Hi guys, welcome back. Another Technique Tuesday drill series. This week we're focusing on the freestyle doggy paddle drill, sometimes called underwater recovery. It's a more professional term. It's a really good drill for helping build feel for the water and practicing the front end of your stroke. So basically that catch and pull. Um, it strips away the distraction of recovering through the air, so you get to focus entirely on what's happening where it matters, which is that actual pull and propulsion. And there's quite a lot to be said for what's happening under the water is much more important than what happens over or over above. Obviously, there's a correct way to recover and the most efficient and effective way to recover, but the recovery is not what makes you move through the water. It's whether you're managing to actually catch and pull efficiently and effectively or not. So, what is this drill? It's freestyle, but your arms never leave the water. So after you've finished that pull all the way back to the hip, instead of recovering over the top, you're going to pull to the hip and then recover underneath, and pull to the hip and recover back underneath. So you slice your hand forward through the water under your chest and stomach, up the ribs, back to that full extension point where you would start your stroke from normally. It's a continuous motion and it's performed entirely underneath. So where in front crawl you would pull, come over, drop into the next stroke. With this drill, you pull, come back to the start, pull to the hip, come back to the start, pull to the hip, back to the start. And you can do that in a catch-up style, or you can do one, and as this one's coming back to the other, and alternate that way. So why do we do this drill? It's just to help maximize that feel for the water. So because your hands are always underneath, you're constantly receiving feedback to help you find that catch earlier in the stroke, and that front half of that pull there. And because your hands stay underwater, you're constantly in contact with the water to help develop that feel. It focuses on that extension, so you get to reach forward after you've done your pull to the hip, reach forward and try and stretch and rotate to get that catch without the downward momentum of a over surface recovery. So normally when you do your pull and recover over the top, your arms already dropping down, and some people get into that habit of where the hand should enter the water smoothly, it slaps or it drops down, so you're already a couple of inches under the water before you actually start your pull, whereas this doesn't allow you to do that. So it lets you get that feel of pulling right from the very top of the water, initiating that catch early. It helps to build that high elbow, so you've got to keep that high elbow through the water at all times, otherwise you'll create a lot of drag, and you'll be able to actually make sure you've got that elbow nice and high as you press and pull through all the time, and then recover underneath and press and pull with that elbow nice and high at all times in this drill. And it strengthens the front quadrant, which is basically just that front part of the stroke, the front quarter, that catch and pull. So you never drop your arm, you never slip through the water, you always get a good catch and a good grip to make that early vertical forearm, distance per stroke, reach, all of those key things that we always talk about in swimming. This drill is one of the drills that will really help you with those aspects. So how to perform it? You're flat on your front in that front crawl body position. You're pulling, focusing on that high elbow and the vertical forearm. Instead of bringing your arm out over through the air, over the top of the water surface, you're just going to keep it under the water, slide it up your ribs underneath, and then ready for that next pull again. We're going to keep our arms within shoulder width. We're not going to go too wide, so we're not going to do our pull and then when we recover come out here, or do our pull and then when we recover come across here. You're going to stay within shoulder width for that pull and recovery, pull and recovery. and then one arm should be recovering forward while the other is pulling back. So we're going to keep on switching and swapping with that pull and the next one, the next one, the next one, just to help develop that feel, continuous motion, that almost catch-up type of swimming, even with this doggy paddle drill. So where can we utilize this within our swimming? You can do it within a preset. So for example, 625 meters of this doggy paddle drill, just to help focus on that catch and pull. Make sure you're getting hold of the water really well and pulling it, not having to worry about the over the water recovery, just keeping that arm submerged in the preset. And then once you've built that feel and developed that catch and feel for the water and that pulling mechanics, and you can feel that propulsion is really working, you can then take that into your main set of your harder swimming, the more distance type of swimming. Or you can do it as a transition set, so somewhere in between, where you do, for example, 450s, 25 doggy paddle, 25 full stroke, and you try to take the aspects of the drill into that full stroke each time. So you're doing your 25 doggy paddle, work on the catch, work on the pulling mechanics, work on that high elbow and early vertical forearm, and then taking that good catch, pulling mechanics, high elbow, early vertical forearm into the full stroke where you're now recovering over the water. Or you can use it to try and build strength and feel. So for example, 425s of the doggy paddle drill using a pull buoy, so you're only focusing on that, specifically that pulling mechanics. There's no kicking, there's less focus on having to keep the body position because the pull buoy is going to help to do that for you. There's no focus on the over the surface recovery, it's all underneath. So you can use it to help build that upper body strength, pulling mechanics and power. Thanks for listening. If anyone's got any questions, drop me a message. See you all next week.